What's up, guys? This is D Brown with Trackheads. I'd like to welcome you to Trackheads TV. So, here is the topic of conversation for today. This season, we have seen two 400-meter runners do the unthinkable, right? They set history. We have Fred Curley, who's originally a 400-meter sprinter, right? Has the definitely the top 10 fastest 400-meter dash time all time. I think is 43.7, right? He has moved down to the 100 and has become the world champion in the 100-meter dash. Amazing, 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 right? We also have someone by the name of Sharika Jackson, who was a bronze medalist in the 400-meter dash in the world championship. And she has since also not necessarily became world champion in the 100. She became world champion in the 200, running a phenomenal time that no one has seen alive, right? Second only to Flojo, I believe. And she has become the silver medalist in the world championship 100-meter dash, running 10.7. Simply amazing, right? And everyone has been asking, everyone has been brainstorming. There's been all these think pieces about, man, how come all these 400-meter runners are doing so well, right? How are they able to scale down? You look at the likes of even Michael Norman, right? Being able to be, to run 43.45 as his PR, but he also can run a 9.8. Right? People want to also think about the advantages of being able to run the 400, of being able to run the 100 while in 400-meter shape, right? I think this goes back. A lot of the old school coaches know this, right? A lot of the old school coaches know this, but a lot of the new coaches don't, right? And one of the things I've come to understand about the 400 and how it can benefit the 100 is that when you're a sprinter, you're a sprinter, okay? I'm going to say that again. When you're a sprinter, you're a sprinter. Okay, the 400-meter dash is nothing but sprinters gaining the endurance to last the entirety of a 400-meter dash, right? Sure, they develop other aspects of the 400 in terms of like the endurance piece of it, right? The lactic conditioning needed to be able to turn it over even more past 250 meters. But they're sprinters first. If there's no way that Fred Curley is no way that Fred Curley can run a 43.7 without being in close to 10.1 to 10 flat shape, period, right? If you look at the amount of speed that he has to have in order to be able to take out that first 200 in 20.8, right? 20.5, even 21. It requires a lot of speed. So we want to just take away the notion that these guys are not sprinters to begin with, right? Even the likes of Wade Van Niekerk. Wade Van Niekerk is a 9.94. I believe he's a 19.8, and of course he is the world record holder in the 400-meter dash. But as you can see, his PR is definitely under 10 seconds, and that's almost like what you need in order for you to be able to run a sub 43 400-meter dash. Can you run a 400-meter dash under 43 seconds without having those accolades? Of course, right? We have a lot of guys in history that have been able to accomplish that feat. But when we're talking about the doubling of being able to run the 100, 200, and 400, it's very important to consider the fact that these athletes are sprinters, point blank, period. They're not different just because they run the 400. If anything, they're showing us that if you are a 400-meter runner, you've been training as a 400-meter runner, there's actually advantages of going down to the 100-meter dash that the other athletes do not have. For example, the ability to handle rounds. How many times have you seen the likes of Usain Bolt, Tyson Gay, even Johan Blake? At the beginning of their season, they open up in a 400-meter dash, right? That's not coincidence, right? At that particular level, it's not about how fast you can run a 100-meter dash one time. It's about how fast you can run the 400-meter dash 3 times, 2 of which are usually performed within an hour to 2 hours of each other on the final day, right? So it's about having the conditioning and having the endurance available to not just turn over one time, but to turn over multiple times during a particular day. Then you also have to add into the account that they're also going to be running 4x1s. A lot of these guys are also doubling in the 200. So when you look at the energy systems and you look at just how the body is supposed to be able to react, there's a lot of conditioning that's needed, right? A lot of conditioning that's needed for you to be able to accomplish all those sprinting feats. Well, guess what the perfect athlete that can accomplish that? The 400-meter runner, right? The 400-meter runner is conditioned enough in their lactic system to be able to handle the 100, the 200 round, the semifinals for the 100, the 200 semifinals. They're able to handle all that, including the 4x1, including the 4x4, right? If you look at Allison Felix at her peak, she was able to run the 4x4, 4x1, 100, and 200, right? That was no coincidence, right? When she was in her best 100-meter shape, she was able to split 47, right? When she was in her best 200 shape, she was in her best 100 shape, which means that she was also in her best 4x4 shape. If you look at the year in which she split 47, which is one of the fastest of all time for women, she was in the best 200-meter shape of her life. She was also in the best 100-meter shape of her life, right? And if it wasn't signified by time, it was probably signified by the people that she beat that year, all right? There's no coincidence that they had her on that 4x1 as well. So I want to kind of put that in perspective, because a lot of people are just like, man, this is the year of the 400-meter runners. It's the year of the 400-meter runners, correct. But 400-meter runners have been doing this for quite some time. A lot of your favorite 100 and 200-meter runners are actually 400-meter runners in disguise. If you look at the way Noah Lyles, the way in which he runs kind of like Michael Johnson did when he was in supreme shape for his 400 and 200, right? Very fast cadence, does not slow down his turnover, is able to run all the way through the line, no fatigue. That doesn't happen when you're just fast in the 100, okay? That happens when you also have the strength of the 300 and 400. So when you also look at some of the other athletes, I forgot her name, but she ran for the University of Kentucky this year. The girl who ran the 200, her name escapes me, so pardon me. But if you look at the way she turns over, she's been on some of the best 4x4s for Kentucky this year, or last year, right? Broke the collegiate record in the indoor 200, right? Made it all the way to the World Championships this year, right? How many races were under her legs? That does not happen unless you have 400-meter conditioning. And I guarantee in her program, she doesn't just sprint all day. She definitely does those 350s. I have no doubt that he probably threw some 450s in there, some split 450s or something like that. So my point is that when you look at Fred Curley, and when you look at Shericka Jackson, you look at Noah Lyles, when you look at some of these athletes who are perceived as being just sprinters, just 100, 200-meter sprinters, I want you to consider the fact that maybe they're also great because they also run the 400. The ability to hold their turnover for longer periods of time, their ability to survive the rounds for longer periods of time, and their ability to also not get injured as much. They all had relatively healthy seasons. Fred Curley, besides his quad injury his quad cramp that he got in the World Championships, he was relatively healthy all year, right? When you run 9.7, I mean, multiple times, I can understand why your quad would be hurting. Shericka Jackson, healthy the majority of the year, even more so than her counterparts, Elaine Thompson-Herah, and also the Pocket Rocket, okay? So all these are important factors to kind of understand and comprehend as we try to understand why these 400-meter runners are doing so well in the 100. It's not just because they're freaks in nature, which they are. It's also because they had that 400-meter base and conditioning under them, and they're able to bring that to the 100 and survive the rounds. Okay, so definitely something very important things to consider. I want to thank you guys for watching. This is D Brown with Trackheads. Peace.